Morning. It's currently 6:15. We've got our coffee. We're leaving about 6:30. Get the lake for about 7. And have a little scoot round. I've pretty much got an idea of where I'm going. Gonna just do a quick day session. And I think there's no one on the peg that I want to fish today. There's 2 pegs really, but I think I know which one I'm going to go for, depending on what we see when we get there. But yeah, I'll keep you updated and I'll see you when I'm there. Take it easy. It's 7:15. We're a little bit later than I wanted to be really. We're just leaving. We'll be there in about half an hour, 35 minutes. So yeah, I'll see you when we're there. I'm literally fishing yellow zig with a black liner, maybe 1.5 deep, 1.5 up off the bottom, maybe 2 foot, there or thereabouts. Just fish to a lead clip, 4-ounce leads. If you're fishing zigs you need heavy lead, heavier the better. But that's all I'm starting off on. I've got one on it, literally just a single zig. 1.5, 2 foot, yellow zig with a black liner, and my other zig is going to be all black foam, black liner. I'll get set up and then I'll show you around. So that's us, rods out in the water. It's 8:05, 2 rods out, both on zigs. Well, they're just setting. One's on a black zig, about 1.5 foot, and the other's on a yellow zig with a black liner. It's probably just over 1.5 foot, somewhere between 1.5 foot and 2 foot. I've had fish on both of them last week, so I know they work that depth. It's only about 4 or 5 foot anyway, so we'll have a little mess about and cast about, and every so often see if we can find them and get on them. Fingers crossed to be back to you soon with some fish. So that's the setup. The rods are out on the pod, just waiting to rip off. As I say, today we're just doing a quick day session, so we're just fishing off the barra. The net's ready to go if we get one. The cradle I don't set up unless I have one. While I'm leaving it to rest, I'll set the cradle up, take me 20 seconds. When I'm fishing off the barra, I just fish off the barra, so that if I want to move or need to move, if I see fish going somewhere else, I can move quickly. But yeah, we'll see. That's just setting that. I'll fix me bobbing now. Hopefully I'll be back soon with some fish. Now started off on low, my zigs are only 1.5 to 2 foot, and I'm in 4 to 5 foot of water. As I say, I know last week I had a couple of fish, one off each, so I know them depths work on here. But it was a lot colder last week. It's about 8-9 degrees at the minute, whereas last week it was between 1 and 3 degrees right through the day. Now what you find as that sun comes up, it'll move round this way. So where I'm fishing in the shade behind the trees, as the sun comes up and warms the water up, if I do think they're moving up in the water, I will lengthen my zigs to between 3 and 4 foot. I don't use adjustables, I just use set zigs that I've got made up. If need be, I can always make some more up. But yeah, as the sun comes and warms the water up, if nothing's happening between 1.5 foot and 2 foot, I will lengthen them to between 3 and 4 foot, maybe a touch over 4 foot, depending on the spots that I'm fishing on. Well, yeah, that's me thinking behind it. Hopefully I can bring you some fish. Now I know the rule of thumb theoretically is to hit every beep, a single beep on a zig, especially in winter, but I just don't find it works for me, especially when I'm fishing on short zigs, because they're only 1.5 to 2 foot. I just don't find, I never seem to hit into anything. I prefer to let them run. I fish not on lighter than a 4 ounce lead anyway, so I always find the lead does the hole for you. It's different if you're fishing a 15 foot zig, because if you watch the underwater videos you can see how much they move on a 15 foot zig before you get an indication. So if you're fishing in deep water on a long zig, it's a bit different. But when you're fishing quite shallow water on shallow zigs and never hit a single beep, you tend to know when you go. That's just my experience, what I find. Others may find different, but that's what I've always found, so that's what I stick to. One of the most important things when you're zig fishing is when you're casting out, you've got to hit the clip. If you're fishing a line clip, you've got to hit the clip. If you're not fishing to a line clip, it's a must that you trap the line before that lead in the rig hits the water. It is when you trap the line, you stop the lead dead and the rig kicks out. So your lead drops and then your rig just goes above it. It keeps that distance between your main line and your rig. So I'll show you now. When you cast, you're going to cast your rig out just as normal. But then before it hits the water, you're going to trap that line. And it'll kick that rig out so it sits nice in the water. It don't matter whether you're fishing in a foot of weed, your rig's always going to be presented. That's guaranteed. Some of you to look out behind you, innit? I've had to put the old coat back on because the sun's gone behind the clouds that just appear from nowhere, and it's actually quite cold when the sun's not out. Just coming back out from behind the cloud now, but when it goes behind them clouds it's quite nippy like, and the wind's picked up. Don't know if you can hear the wind's picked up or not. But yeah, I'm only fishing 2 rods because what I find, if I was coming for the day session and I was fishing, say, I don't know, Ronnie rigs with pop-ups or wafters on a slip day or whatever, I'd fish 3. I'd pick 3 spots and probably put 2 on a solid bag and 1 over a bit of a baited spot. Find 3 spots and fish them. But with zigs, because I'm moving about a lot, I want to keep as much of the water clear as possible. And not only that, if I was fishing 3 spots, I'd have them backleaded. Whereas when you're fishing zigs, you want them bow tight, so you can't backlead them. I always fish my zigs bow tight, so you get every indication. On top of that, you've also got, on my zigs, I'm fishing a size 10 hook. Size 10 hook with 10 pound zig and floater line. So you've got to be that bit more careful. So if I catch one on a zig, if it runs towards me other rods, I'm limited to how much I can try and stop it. You just got to be a lot more delicate. Anyone who's fished zigs will understand. Anyone who hasn't, if you're unsure on fishing zigs, trust me, it's worth a try. I say I come down here last week for a day session and had 2 out, both on zigs. But it's definitely worth a try. For a long time, I put off fishing zigs. I thought it's a piece of foam. Just it being just a piece of foam just baffled me brain how it can do bites, but it does. Even black foam through the night, I've found. If I fish zigs through the night, me go-to is black foam. don't ask me why it works or how it works, but it just seems to work. That's what I've found. I say, if anyone's not fished zigs before and they're unsure how to tie them, let me know in the comments and I'll happily do a video showing you how to tie a zig the way I tie them. They're pretty straightforward. I know it can be baffling, but once you've done them once, they are so straightforward to tie. So yeah, if anyone's unsure and wants to try it, let me know and I'll do a video in the comments. So it's 11 o'clock. We've had the rods in the water since just after 8, I think. So we've been fishing about 3 hours. We've not had nothing yet. I've just reset the rods, just put one behind the island where I wanted to get. So fingers crossed, first go was bang on the money. Quite hopeful of that one. The sun's been out a couple of hours now. So although it's still quite chilly, the water's starting to warm up, which hopefully will get them moving and the zigs can come into their own. We're still hopeful, but I'll let you know how we get on. So it's just gone 12 o'clock, still nothing. I have just had a couple of little bleeps on my left hand rods. I was tempted to hit it, to be honest, but when I went over to them, it had stopped. If I'd have had a couple more by the time I got there, I'd have probably hit it. I am sat, to be fair, quite far back from me. Well, I say quite far back, I'm about 6 foot away. I like to sit on my rods normally, but because this end don't really get fish much in the winter, they're not used to any bank noise, which is why I'm sat back a bit. The last thing I want to do is sit on the bank and spook anything, any chance I do have. So yeah, that's the reason I'm sat back a bit. But yeah, we've still got 3 or 4 hours, fingers crossed we can nick something along the way. Hopefully I'll be back soon with a fish. Well, it's 2:20 we've got about an hour left, still nothing. Being quiet, to be fair. It's way fishing goes though. It's called fishing, not catching. We've still got an hour, fingers crossed. We'll stick at it till the death. I mean, the rain starts coming down now, but yeah, it'll either be or it won't. I'll let you know either way. Oh well, that's us all packed up. The barrel's loaded, ready to go. No fish, unfortunately, but that's where it goes, innit? That's why it's called fishing and not catching. Fingers crossed next time we can nick something. Sorry, you'll have to excuse the helicopter. Just going rather, I'm not racing across low, that. Fucking hell. I was raced across low. Apologies about that. Yeah, we didn't end up having nothing. But fingers crossed next. Fucking hell, that is low. Fingers crossed next time we nick something. Time will tell. Anyway, until next time, take it easy.